All right, we're gonna walk around to the fulfillment warehouse.
The chicken today was delicious.
Yeah, it's really good chicken. We have a lot of the keto, paleo, carnivore customers that won't eat monogastric animals. So they won't eat pigs and they won't eat poultry.
Okay.
And I totally respect that. I get bored with just beef. You know, I just,
Almost every day.
well, and I don't know how, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I don't want a freaking hamburger every day.
I'm one of those creatures of habit.
Yeah.
I can't cook chicken well. That's the other thing, is I have not figured out how to do it well.
Honey, put it in a crock pot with some Italian dressing or something, and just let it go.
But you know, the turkeys turn out every single time.
They're
They
so
are
good.
perfect.
They're so good. I'm so glad.
I have a thing about the chicken.
Well, I'm not very good at cooking our chicken any other way than in the oven set. I'll do a 420 blast for 20 minutes and then turn it to 375 for 20 minutes. And it's delicious. The skin's crispy, it's really good. I'll type it out for you. I'll email it to you. You can try.
More than the bird.
No, I doubt that. I don't know. But I understand the argument of monogastrics eating things like corn and soy, which arguably are not great for your health.
I know.
And
But with the chicken, you have to feed them. They cannot sustain life on just pasture.
well,
That's not.
people say I want a grass-fed chicken.
you can't.
Well, shit, it's only going to be 4 weeks old. It would die
Exactly.
after that.
Exactly. So.
Well, and we're
it's just
actually
interesting.
we're gonna take our flock to corn and soy free in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, are you?
Which I'm very excited about, but it'll be more barley, wheat,
that's great,
oats.
Well, I might try it after that.
Yeah, it is. It's been very, very interesting to hear customers' preferences. There are histamines.
Yeah.
How quickly is the meat frozen?
Right.
We're gonna go right in this building right here. But anyways, I'm glad because we checked the box for a lot of those specific customers' needs.
That's great.
So this is Miss Mary. Miss Mary runs this place. She's the boss. So this is our warehouse. At one point, this was where we broodered chicks. You wouldn't believe it, but this was our brooder barn. We had LP gas lines, which ran off the beams there down into these little pancake brooders, and there were, at any given time, like 10,000 chicks all chirping around. We have obviously changed that model, but we brought in these containers which house about 400 different SKUs, inventory in about 400 different SKUs, which you see on our website. We've got a system that integrates with our online store. And do you have a pick sheet over there, Miss Mary? So you won't be able to see it, but we'll pass it around. This person ordered SKU 2440F. They ordered one of those, and then it gives 4 locations as to where that SKU is. It looks like container 4, so this is container 4, which you can see. And inside of container 4, there are stacks 5 high of items. So the pickers will go and find the 1 pack of beef oxtail on a FIFO system, first in, first out, pick that into these bins, which will then tie along to where the wrapper wraps each cut of meat for transit in the coolers. It'll then be boxed and iced and labeled, and then FedEx will come pick it up. So we do about 150 orders a day, 5 days a week. The system is, it keeps us keeping inventory moving through in a FIFO system, which keeps things from expiring. It was really funny, in 2020 we didn't have a single thing expire in inventory. People were buying whatever it was. In fact, I read an article that said exotics were up 150% in sale. People were so panicked that they didn't care if they had to eat ostrich or emu or alligator or whatever. They just wanted meat. And so that's settled back down, but we'll do about 150 orders every day, Monday through Friday, with a team of about a dozen people. And they'll pick and pack out of these 6 containers, put them into boxes, and then, like I said, FedEx will either deliver it or they won't. Any questions about fulfillment?
How long does it take for FedEx to pick these up?
They'll pick that up here in the next probably 20 minutes. Miss Mary called them and they're on the way. Our boxes will keep things in transit for 3 days. So we define who we ship to in our ground network by that 3-day mark. So that's about Denver, Colorado, and east, and then the entire eastern seaboard.
So you said they're already packaged, right?
That's right. Anybody that wants to, y'all can come look in. You got the key to one? So this is a chicken cage. Every item will have what's in there: beef tongue, barbecue, lard, ground bison, whatever it is written there. But this is also a location, which will is
For you to go to.
that's exactly right. So the SKU is assigned to the location, and the location is the location's the constant, not the item.
Think we should get those kids out of there?
Why not? I say leave them. See how long they last. It's a pretty good preservation tool, freezing. All right, well, that's pretty much it for distribution for the end customers. Any of our grocery, customers would be fulfilled off the dock with fresh product, but this is all of our frozen fulfillment. Any questions about frozen fulfillment or e-commerce? No?
You ship just in that eastern region. Okay.
So it's our ground network, which is east of Colorado, south of Maine, north of Miami. All right, we'll walk on around. So we are proud members of the American Grass-Fed Association. That's our grass-fed certifier. This is their conference in combination with, I can't remember the other outfit, but their involvement. They asked us if we wanted to be a field trip, and we absolutely agreed. Depending on where you sell your products is really, that should be the deciding factor. We are great promoters of the AGA because we agree with their standards and we like the people. But if you're, if you've got grass-fed beef and you're going to be selling it to your neighbors, they might not care about certifications.
Yeah, grass-fed beef. We got like 75 mama cows.
Well, depending on where you want to sell it, you might not need third-party certifiers.
What y'all do you buy from somebody else?
So we've got a producer group, and I don't know what those statistics are. We process about 30 a day, 4 days a week. So whatever that math is. Fridays are reserved for small ruminants or pigs. So this is pretty much, the processing complex, with the exception of our commissary, which is where we make our broths and pickled items, our casseroles, jerky, a few other things, the real value-added stuff. You have seen the processing complex for White Oak Pastures. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, good?
Good for you.
Well, I'm happy that y'all chose to come out. I hope y'all enjoyed it. At least it wasn't so hot, and at least the gnats aren't bad. So it could have been a lot worse.
And it didn't rain.
And it did not rain. That's exactly right. So,
Thank you for sharing it with me.
yeah, you look very familiar. Have we met?
Yeah, I came here a long time ago, and
You
I do more or less what you do
You have a very memorable face.
at a lower scale.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
No, an appropriate
No,
scale.
I know at a lower scale.
No, at an appropriate scale. Oh. Well, you know, and the things that we do, you raise a good point. You know, we have to do a certain amount because of processing. You know, had we not had to build these plants, you know, we wouldn't be, you know, doing the amount of volume that we're doing. But when we made the decision to process, the game changed. You know, there are a lot of things that we'd like to do. We'd love to, you know, for at least 2 years, we've wanted to remove the corn and soy out of the chickens, out of all of the poultry diet, monogastrics in general, pigs and poultry. But we could not afford to do that because it would take the cost up, you know, 30%, which means that we'd lose a certain amount of customers in a business that was already not at capacity. It just didn't make sense. But if we retool this building to do more value addition, still process birds, but not have to process so many, we can afford to cut back, you know, and take them corn and soy free and make bacon or hot dogs and snack sticks and whatever else. You know, so it's like the system that we started with, that we were married to for such a long time, we've now matured to a point that we don't have to have that system. We finally got enough sense to not push a square peg in a round hole and to retool it. And that, you know, that's been very valuable from us.
Gotta continue to improve.
That's exactly right.
Learn every day.
That's right. There's a weak
And what
link
comes-
somewhere.
well, it's more profitable at the end of the game.
Yep. Yep.
What of the animals that you do are your own versus the other farmers that?
The only species that we have a production group for is cattle. We've got right at 1,000 mamas, and I don't know what the math is, but you know, if we process 30 head a day, 4 days a week, because Fridays are reserved for pigs and, you know, sheep or goats, you know, mathematically that 1,000 would be ours, and the rest would be, you know, from our producer group.
But you don't sell that under your label.
We do.
Oh, you
We do. They raise on our protocol. They're inspected to our standard, and that's our beef. We buy the live animal.
Okay.
Y'all finish them here, or they finish?
They finish when they're you know, they finish them at their farms. So they bring them when they're, you know, ready to process. But we might hold them, you know, until it fits our schedule.
But those animals are being managed similar to the way y'all do,
Yes, very.
arriving here.
That's right.
That it's a production network?
A producer group. Yep, our producer group. So we've got about 10 neighbors that raise cattle for us on our production protocol. You know, they're all audited to the same standard that we are, and we sell them under the White Oak Pastures label. They're processed here, fabricated here, all the same. Anybody else? Any other questions?
When you process other meats, sheep, and you said what else?
So on Fridays, we process our sheep and goats or pigs, either Iberian or Berkshire.
How often do you do each type on that Friday?
So we try to do a Friday for Iberian pigs, the next Friday for Berkshire pigs, and then either the next Friday for goats or, you know, sheep. So that's right. Right now it's working out that way, but it'll adjust with the market. You know, if we can sell pork more easily, then we'll raise more pigs. If we can sell
Next Friday for them.
That's right. Well, and the way we see this thing working is with the small ruminants grazing the solar farm, we believe that we'll be offering a lot more lamb in the next 24 months, which means that, you know, it might be that we don't process pigs every Friday, we process sheep every Friday, and maybe pigs on Thursdays, you know, twice a month or something like that.
How's the market for the sheep?
I don't know.
Oh no, about to find out.
I'm about to find out. Actually, I've got a lot of confidence in it. I think people don't buy or don't eat a lot of lamb just because it's not culturally what we grew up eating. You know, lamb is delicious. Lambs work really well in this climate, Katahdin sheep. I'm convinced that when customers have the ability to try lamb offered in a way that's comparable to something they're familiar with, like beef, I feel like it'll be a very easy sale. We were talking about I don't think anybody else heard it, but how some customers prefer beef or ruminant meat over monogastric meat from a nutritional perspective. I'm not a nutritionalist. I eat cornbread and drink wine. I've made that choice a long time ago, and I'm not close to changing anything about it. But I do know that there are people who only eat beef or ruminant meat, and I believe that the diversity that could be introduced to those people's diets with grass-fed lamb could be a game changer. And I think, go ahead.
Back in World War II, there was a restriction on beef for the military. So people like my mother and those people back then had to eat a lot of old sheep.
Mutton.
And it was very strong flavored. So I never had lamb in my family in my life, ever in my house, until I grew up and raised my own.
That's right.
And so that's where a lot of that came from.
That's right. Yeah, I think that if consumers had the ability to try lamb in a way that was presented to them with as a substitute for beef at a comparable price to grass-fed beef, I don't think that it would be such a special occasion Easter thing. So I got a lot of confidence in it, but who knows? I know that the same people that buy grass-fed beef because they care about the environment are also interested in solar energy production. And when they focus on the fact that the land under the panels can be managed holistically, just like pasture land, they'll support that, and we can support them with product and with resources, recipes and cooking methods and distribution and whatever else, to make that possible. So I think a lot of these, a lot of the items that we sell are not comparable to the commodity version. Grass-fed beef versus grain-finished beef, not comparable. Pastured chicken versus commodity chicken, not comparable. Asking them to try lamb, not a hard sell.
Y'all do hair sheep, right?
We do. They're Katahdin. We've got some Dorpers, but primarily Katahdin.
That's St. Croix.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever
We,
consider St. Croix?
we had a few. Yeah, they weren't available. Whenever we had to bring in. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But we have had those. They were darker and were about 7 or 8 degrees hotter than the hair sheep. Ours were brown or black, the St. Croix sheep, and so we tend to get animals that can survive in this heat, and not that they couldn't, but they just were hotter.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Well, I appreciate y'all joining us.
Thank you.
Y'all are welcome here anytime. Grateful for y'all's visit. Grateful y'all made time to come see us. Y'all are all welcome whenever you want to come back, especially Dothan. You're very close. Good deal.
Thank you.
Yep. See y'all.